Today's video is CRC Auto and Marine. We are working on a 97 Ford Explorer with a badge fuel pump. Already on the lift, got to stand up, and we got to take off the shield right here, and after take off the shield, start lowering the fuel tank so we can get to the pump. All right, I took out the 4 bolts out of this skid plate for the fuel tank. I'm gonna let this thing down so I can get out of the way. On this one, I've got 2 bolts up here in the front that hold the front part of the skid plate. It's got one back here behind the tire, obviously on the driver's side, and it has one more that you can't see up here above the drive shaft on the inside. And now it's loose. You can get this thing right here out the way. All right, we got the skid plate off. There it is. So now we got to pull some more bolts off. We got this one and this one hold the front part of the fuel tank. Then I need to take this whole bracket off eventually, but that'll hold the front of the tank up while I'm getting out. Ouch! This bolt right here to hold the strap on. And the other side of the strap is in a keyway right there. And that keyway, pretty easy for it to come out. I'll show you when I get there. All right, so before we pull this tank down, I'm gonna take these hoses off. We got a vent hose on the right, so when you're filling it up, the fuel goes in, air can come out for displacement. And then you got, let's see if I can get over here to it somehow. And you got the fill hose, so I can get up in here, tight spot. And take the fill hose off, take it loose so I can pull it off. It's actually a little rusty. Be alright. And they should just pull right off. A little twist and pull method. I can get up in here where I can actually pull it with one hand. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, get these up out the way. Both of them are off. All right, so this one here is another vent line for the evap. You just push these 2 tabs in right here, one on this side and one on this side. Push them together, and it just comes loose like that. And this right here is a pressure sensor for the fuel system. And the main plug over here, right here on the frame rail, that unplugs the fuel pump and that little pressure sensor. There it is. This one's got 7 prongs in it, but it just, a little plastic hook right there, a little plastic piece right there goes in there and hold it inside the frame on this one. All right, so these fuel lines, you take and you pop this little metal piece off of here. All right, so I got a screwdriver. Like that. Come on. And you slide it out of the hole that it's in and pop it completely off. I'll do the same with this. And also, I cannot see these, by the way. Can't get my fat head between the drive shaft and the exhaust, so I'm actually using the camera with the light on. Oops, that broke off, but it's okay because it's not that important that it stays on here. I'll put it back on later. But anyway, let's get the screwdriver out of the way. We'll drop it on the floor. All right, so you can get these tools right here at any auto parts store. This is actually a full kit that I bought on Amazon. It comes with all kinds of fittings and sizes and mess, but let's see if I can get this on there. Goes over the line. The rubber band right here, the black rubber band, that's just to help hold it together. But you just slide it forward, and what it does is it opens up the teeth inside the connector. Once it feels like it's all the way, we're going to jiggle. It should come out now. There we go. There's one of them off. As you can see, inside of here there's 1, 2, 3, 4 teeth. And anyway, tool slides up in there with a little jaw, slides up in there and opens up the teeth, and it slides over this little lip that's right here. And I didn't hit the wrong button. Yeah. So that was a 3/8, as you can see. And the other one, I can't find it, is a 5/16 for the return line. So this right here is the return line. You slide it on there. The tool is all the way in there, just all the way. As you can see, I pulled it off already. But yeah, this one too also has 4 little teeth in there. Push it in there. Push it in there, open up the teeth, pull it off the line. All right, now that that's all done, I'm gonna take this tank down. I'll show you the rest. Next step. All right, I kind of forgot to show you about this strap right here on the back of the fuel tank. As you can see, there's like a big keyway right there. All you got to do is pick it up, and it comes out the hole. That's all that holds the other side of the strap in. There's no bolts. You pick it up, it comes right on out the hole. And you see it's like a giant key. And it comes right out. So now, I'm gonna get a hand from one of my other guys, and we're gonna take this tank out of here. All right, fuel tank is out. Now it's time to take these 6 bolts out and remove the fuel pump assembly. And I think for this model they do sell the whole thing, but I'm gonna get just the pump itself and put in there. It'll be cheaper for the customer. It's still just as good. Be right back. Anyway, got all the screws out, and that's stuck. Be right back. All right, so I went and got my flathead screwdriver. Also, forgot to mention, before you take this thing off, make sure you blow the dirt and stuff off of this, so when you actually pop it off and you open up the fuel tank, you're not getting a bunch of dirt all up in there, because you don't want that. Work around a little bit. It's gonna be stuck. This is pretty positive the factory fuel pump on this thing. It's a 97, but it only has like 130,000 miles. But, all right. Put it to the side, drain some fuel out, and then walk the float out of there. And now, and of course, this thing also had like 3/4 of a tank, which kind of sucks, but anyway. So here's the fuel pump assembly. Float's fine. The pump's easy to change out. Literally just one screw, the strap, and then it'll come with all the new stuff you need, hardware and all that stuff. All right, so I kind of actually forgot to show swapping this old pump out. So you put a new sleeve on a new pump, and then you put this what they call a sock on the bottom of it, just a strainer filter. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. The wire has to be cut because it's a different kind of plug. So it comes with the plug already for the new pump, and it comes with the butt connectors. Your color will always go to what's red or orange on some of them, and black obviously, the ground. And then it's just reverse order of where you took it apart. There's a strap that goes across right here. It is actually right here. It just clips in on one side, like that. Goes over with a screw and button down right there. But yeah, it comes with a new hose. You just cut it to fit to the right length, and you just hold it up against the side, figure out where you need to cut it, slice it off, and put it up in there. Comes with 2 hose clamps. Put that on there, and yeah, that's about it. Butt connectors, hose clamps in the hose, and new pump goes on there. It does slide into the bottom of the pump housing itself right there, and that's it. I'm gonna plug this back in now, and we'll reverse the order on taking the tank out. Alright, so I just had Edward help me get this tank back in there. I took out about 6.5 gallons, 7 gallons. So made it way easier to get this thing back in there, but it was still heavy. But anyhow, these holes right here are actually lined back up pretty decently. So now I just gotta put the bolts in them, and then I'll put the strap back on in here. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. And start getting stuff back up. Alright, so I'm gonna speak up because they have the heater on because they think it's cold outside. Well, it's cold in here. Anyway, all these hoses go in reverse order. You took them off, but except they just slide right on. You don't have to have no special tool. And so basically, you got two different sizes, so they don't go on one way. Put it on there, wiggle, jiggle until it clicks. Then you hit this piece here. It goes back over the hose, wiggle, jiggle it in, and just push it down. And now it's locked. So even if the internal lock teeth in here, for some reason break or whatever, this piece will help it from sliding off. They'll keep it from doing it. So let's go to this other side. Oh no, there's some gas coming out. Put it on there. Slide it till it clicks. And I forgot I broke that off. So let's go get the piece real quick and we'll be right back. Alright, so I grabbed the piece. It doesn't matter if it's still connected to that plastic or not. That's just there so you don't lose it once you pop it off. So you put these little teeth right here. Pop that back over. Slide it into the connector's head. And then press down, lock it in. We're good to go. We got this piece here. These are the ones you had to press these two pieces here to open it up and unlock it. Same way, just goes back in, pop back on, good to go. That's just a vent tube, there's no pressure on it. So, alright. Now we're gonna go back over here. If I can get the camera up in there. Get the electrical connector. Stick it back in there where the latch lines up with the other piece of the latch. And pop in. And then we just put it back in its hole. Just like that. It's locked in. Out of the way. Now we come back into the back. We've got this vent hose here. Put this hose on for the vent. And this hose on for the inlet tube where you take a ratchet wrench with the right size and you can get in here pretty easy to tighten these things back up so it doesn't only leak. It's a lot easier to do it like this than it is to try to get a pliers screwdriver in there. So it'd be in kind of a tight spot. And also, see all about it that I watched a while back. It was about a corpse, man. Oh man. Alright, so I got the other one on there. I kind of almost forgot to record it. Anyway, I put a new one on there. And see it tighten down. You can definitely over tighten stuff with a ratchet, but I mean a ratchet and a socket. But that one's tight, that one's tight. So the one that holds this strap on, come on, look, strap on for the tank strap. That's 13 millimeters. You could probably use half inch, whatever you want to do. These are 17 millimeters, and these here were 13. These here were 13 millimeters to hold the front section on of that skid plate. I see that this rear axle vent tube just broke off. It was on that for a while. You see the residue around it and the residual crap that's come out over time. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut this this broke part off of here. Let me get this thing off. All right, you little booger. Come off of there. Okay, so I got that one off. Clean the crap off the top of it. Make sure it's fairly clean on the inside. It is not, so let me blow that out. Alright, got that cleaned out. Just stick it back on there. Alright, it's all the way back on there. So, we're good to go. Wait, y'all. I'm the truth. Let's see this thing will crank. Hey! Look at that. Runs like crap, but it cranked. There we go. I'm not real sure why the battery light's on. Just have to figure that out now. But the Ford Exploder runs. Now let's figure out the battery light.